Once you've set up a Pinterest business account and you set up rich pins for your account, the next step is to begin optimizing your account so that it shows up in the Pinterest search engines and your pins will get seen, your boards will get seen, and this is going to help you start getting followers and getting clicks through to your website. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come over here to asknickfoy.com/archives. And here in the May 2017, I've got an article that was just published the other day called 10 Strategies to Grow Your Website Traffic Using Pinterest. So we're going to be walking you through the different steps of this article today. And then at the end, there's a cheat sheet checklist that you can download to help you remember all the different steps. So for starters, Pinterest, as you already know, it's a great source of website traffic. It helped me take traffic from 2,000 back in January and February to nearly 8,000 visitors in the past month in April, as I detailed in my April 2017 income report. So here was a chart seeing my traffic going up over time from the beginning of the year in January, every month increasing, and right around the end here of February, I started really implementing the Pinterest strategies that I learned from a Pinterest course called Pinfinite Growth. And I also tried a few other courses, and I was able to learn a lot of information from these different Pinterest courses. So I really ramped up my Pinterest strategy, and all of a sudden I started getting these random spikes on different days, and then the spikes started getting bigger and bigger. And then now in May, I've had 3 or 4 days in a row where I've gotten 600, 700, 800. So the spikes are even bigger than they'd be off the chart here. So these random spikes come from viral pins that really took off on Pinterest, and they sent tons of traffic back to my website. So that's how powerful Pinterest can be if you use all the strategies and have an optimized profile. So step 1 is add keywords to your Pinterest business name. So once you converted to a Pinterest business account, it let you set your business name. So you want to use keywords in your business name. In my case, I called this Golf Drills, and I'm going to be sending them to a golf website called 100 Golf Drills. So it has, the keyword that relates to my website. Now, if you have a brand name, you can go ahead and use your brand name as well. Some people's brand name is their personal name, so you can do that as well if you want to use your personal name, if that's also your business and your brand name. But in my case, since this is kind of just a random golf account that's going to have a bunch of golf pins and hopefully drive them back to my website, I'm going to use a keyword term that people will be searching. So my profile name is set to Golf Drills. So that's step 1, add keywords to your business name. And then you also want to have, the username. So in my case up here, the URL www.pinterest.com/golfdrills. So by having the username Golf Drills and my profile name Golf Drills, when somebody searches the term Golf Drills, I will hopefully show up in the search rankings for my profile. Step 2, create a board titled yourdomainname.com. So the next step we want to do is create a board where we can put all of our blog posts in one place so that people that want to read more of your blog posts, they don't have to search all your boards. Instead, you can have all your blog post pins in one board. So come here under the Boards tab, click Create New Board, and it's going to ask you to name your board. So you want to name it your website name, so 100golfdrills.com. And then you can add a little bit of extra information if you want. So I'm going to say blog posts. Then you want to make sure secret is set to no because you want this board to be visible on your profile, and hit create. And it's going to open up the board page. So now you can see the URL up here to get to your board. It's going to have your profile username / your board name. So in this case, it's going to be a blank board because you haven't saved any pins yet, but once you start saving pins, they're going to show up here. So come up here to the little pencil icon. This is the edit button, and you're going to want to give your board a description. So let's go back to step 3. Create boards related to your business. So every time you create a new board, like I said, you want to give it a description telling people what it's about, and that's how it's going to show up in the search engines when Pinterest tries to decide if your board's relevant to a search that somebody's doing. So since this has to do with my blog posts, I could type in a description like, check out the latest blog posts from 100 golfdrills.com, and be sure to sign up for my weekly email newsletter to get the latest golf practice drills sent to your inbox. So tell them what the board's about. I've given them a call to action about checking out my website, my newsletter. And then if you want to stick in a bunch of different keywords, we can enter golf. So topics, a lot of times rather than add a bunch of keywords making it look stuffy and spammy, I'll kind of sneak them in this way. I'll say topics will include, by adding these words, and then start sticking in your keywords. So golf, golf lessons, golf tips for beginners, golf swing tips, putting drills, chipping drills. So I'm adding just a bunch of different keywords, and then I can add more later. So anytime somebody searches these words, maybe my board will show up in addition to showing up because of my board name. Category, you want to give it a category. So I'm just going to call it education. Secret needs to be set to no. And then if you want to add collaborators, meaning other Pinterest accounts that can post to your board, you can invite them here. But in this case, I just want to be the only one that can post to this board. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And now we've got the board name, board description, and we can begin adding pins from my blog so that they can access, my blog articles via this board. So let's go back out to the profile now. And step 3 says, create boards related to your business. So what I would do next is I would go ahead and start creating a bunch of other boards. So I might create one, for, chipping drills, driving range drills, putting drills, bunker drills, all the different areas of golf that a golfer would be interested in that would have to do with golf drills. And then when I save pins relevant to those boards, they can, it's a good, easy way for them to find specific drills based on what they're struggling with. And it makes my profile very useful and helpful for them so that I'll hopefully get a follow, and hopefully they'll share my content for me to get me, expanding my reach out there on Pinterest. So that's step 3. Step 4, you want to create a few lifestyle boards as well. So this helps humanize your brand so that it's not all just like blog posts and, articles. So create a couple cool lifestyle boards. You can create travel. If you got a bunch of different vacation destinations you want to go, you could save pins to your travel board. If you've got, a home decor board, you could save different home design ideas, kitchen design ideas. If you want to create a sports board about different sports stuff. So create a few lifestyle boards as well to kind of give a good variety so that you've got, boards related to your niche, and you've also got a couple other boards in there as well so that it adds a little bit of personal touch to your profile. Then, as mentioned, you want to add a detailed description for each board. This is usually 2 to 4 sentences long and include as many targeted keywords possible. So we just did that in the example with the board for my website. 6, you want to join relevant group boards. So after you've set up all your boards and you've started pinning to them, the next most important step is to join group boards that are relevant to your brand. So in my case, I would want to find golf-related groups that I could join. And basically, remember when we set up the board a minute ago and it asked if we wanted to have any collaborators? So that's how somebody would create a group board. They would just add a bunch of different collaborators to the board, and it becomes a group board where everybody can contribute to that board. So by finding other boards in your niche, they'll typically have a board description up here that will share with them, the rules of the group board, and typically it'll give an email address as well of how to contact the administrator so that you can join the group board. So let me go ahead and pull up an example. If I go to Ask Nick Foy, since I've already joined some group boards in my marketing niche. So when I scroll down here, you're going to notice basically any of these boards that has this little circle icon where it's multiple different profile pictures. So that shows you it's a group board. So when I go ahead and click into the group board, you can see over here all the different icons. There's about 43 different people contributing. So I can open this up and see all the different people contributing to this group board. And it tells me the owner that started the group board so that I can make sure to follow them. And then here in the board description, it tells you to email, their email address to get added to this group board. So that would be, the next critical step. Join as many relevant group boards related to your brand as possible so that you can schedule your pins to go to those group boards where they'll be seen by, thousands and thousands of other followers. So, because if you join a group board, once everybody follows those different contributors of that group board, they automatically get subscribed to follow that group board so that when you start pinning to that group board, they're going to be able to see your pins as well, and that's going to give you added exposure to help you grow. Step 7, fill up your Pinterest boards. So right now, once you've gone and created all your different board topics, then you're going to need to fill them up because right now it's blank, it's gray. So to fill it up, I would just start typing in something related to my niche. So in my case, I could type in golf courses, and then it's going to pull up a bunch of golf courses. So in this case, this looks like a beautiful pin. So I would come here to the save button, and it'll say I want to save now, and then I can find the board I want to save it to. So I can click here to save it to this board, but before I save it, if I want to edit the description at all, I can change out the description. But the person that uploaded this pin, it looks like they did a good job writing a good description. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is and just click save to the board. So now we've got our first pin saved to the board. So I can go ahead and do this again on multiple pins. So you want to do about 6 to 8 pins starting out. I would even recommend setting, a minimum of 10 pins per board. You don't have anybody following you initially, so you don't have to worry about kind of spamming them with a ton of pins all at once because you don't have anybody, following you to worry about. And before people start following you, you want to have a full looking profile. So this would be the first step. Go on here and fill up each of your boards with relevant pins related to that board. So in my case, I'm doing it wrong right now because I created that board for blog posts, and here I am saving golf courses. So in reality, I would go back and I would create a board called golf courses, and then I would be saving all of these golf course related pins to that board, since that's what the board's made for. It's made for golf course pins. So I'm not doing it correctly, but I am doing it just to show you, what it would look like. So once you go add 6 to 8 pins to the board, then it's going to have this full appearance. So now instead of being ugly gray and blank, it filled it up so that it looks all full. So you want to create, starting out, you don't have to create a lot of boards because you want to keep them, more specific. So maybe you've got 5 or 10 boards starting out, and then you go in and you find pins for each of those boards to bulk save so that you can fill them up. And then over time, as you upload your own pins, you want to try to mix in a 3-to-1 ratio of repinning other pins from the search as well as the pins that you upload yourself. So for every 1 pin you upload of yours, try to repin 3 pins of other people's. That way you're not constantly spamming your followers with all of your content and not sharing anybody else's helpful content. Now, step 8, create your own group board to build your own tribe and community. So after you join a bunch of group boards other people created, you can also consider joining or creating your own group board that you're going to host, and you can invite different contributors to it to help grow your following that way. Because when all your contributors' followers, they follow them, then they're going to follow your board, and then they're going to see you and follow you. So it helps, grow your account, and it helps you build a tribe when you're running a group board. Now you become the authoritative person or the expert, since you're the owner of the board, that everybody kind of looks up to. So everybody that starts following that board or asking to join to be a contributor, they're going to follow your account, and it's going to, overall help you build your tribe. Step 9, sign up for Tailwind. So if you go to tailwind.com, you're going to be able to create an account, and it's going to allow you to schedule pins. So if you don't have a lot of time on your hands, it's going to be difficult to try to log in every day and try to pin 25 to 40 pins multiple times throughout the day, because you don't want to pin everything all at once because that becomes spammy. So ideally, you want to spread out your pinning throughout the day. But like I said, you don't have time to be logged in all day long pinning. So that's where Tailwind comes in handy as a scheduling tool. You can sign up. It's very cheap. I think you pay like $10 a month. So it might be like $100 for the entire year, which may seem like a lot of money, but that's over the entire year. So once you pay that $100, you forget about it. Maybe cut back the coffee a couple times or cut back a few expenses, and you'll be able to afford it. and it's going to make your life much easier. So you can set up how many pins you want to pin per day, and you can set up each day how many pins you want. So maybe Monday you want to pin 10 times. On Tuesday, maybe you want to pin 15 times. So once you set up each of your days how many pins you want to schedule, then you can come into Pinterest and you can begin clicking on different pins. So let me go back in here again and type in, back to the one golf course. So you want to install the Tailwind extension into your Google Chrome browser. So what it's going to do is when you hover a pin, you're going to see the little Tailwind bird icon right here. So you can click on the Tailwind icon and it's going to pull open your Tailwind account, and you're going to be able to go ahead and schedule it to a board right here, or you can click save for later. So what you want to do is you want to go in and click save for later on about 40 or 50 different pins. And then you'll go back into your Tailwind account and you'll be able to take those 40 pins that you've saved to your drafts, and you'll be able to schedule them out during all the different time slots that you set up for each of your days. And it's a quick tool, so it doesn't take long to schedule them. You just have to go find the pins, save them to your Tailwind account, and then you can click auto schedule and it'll automatically randomize them and spit them out to all the different time slots and schedule them for you. And then boom, it's taken care of, and your Pinterest account will start pinning on an automated scheduler so that you don't even have to log in and worry about it. Last, step 10, show thanks to your repinners. So when you notice people are pinning you and repinning you, up here in the notifications, you'll be notified so-and-so saved your pin. You can go ahead and say thanks to them by either following them or liking their repin to let them know that you saw that they repinned you. So it's a good way to say thanks and encourage additional interaction in the future. So if they see that you acknowledge their repins, that'll make them feel good. And then in the future, they'll keep repinning you if you're a go-to resource that they found helpful. So final thoughts on Pinterest traffic growth. Overall, it's an extremely, Pinterest is a very powerful platform for getting, seen. Every time you pin to Pinterest and it gets repinned on somebody else's board, it can quickly spread and get viral. So Pinterest pins are 100 times more spreadable than a tweet. With a retweet, you average hitting only 1.4% of your feed. As for Facebook, the half-life of a pin is super longer than a Facebook post. So as far as getting your content seen, it can be seen years later. There's pins right now that are still going viral, that are still ranking at the top of the pin search feeds that were published, in 2014 and 2013, and people are still finding them and repinning them and going to the website to look at the blog article. So overall, pins have a long lifespan, whereas a tweet or a Facebook post pretty much only lasts for that day, and then it disappears and people don't see it on their feed anymore. They would have to go to your profile to find it. Pinterest, the pins will show up in the search feeds for a long time. And like I said, it's spreadable where it can go viral, and you'll get those viral spikes of traffic like I showed you above here in my graph. All of a sudden one pin could take off one day, and then the next day another pin could take off. So overall, if you're not using Pinterest yet, make sure that you're considering it as an option for growing your website traffic. And here I've linked to the cheat sheet you can download that's going to give you a helpful worksheet with all the different 10 steps we covered in today's video. So go ahead, come to this article to download that cheat sheet. And then if you want further information on Pinterest, there's a Pinterest course called Pinfinite Growth by Melissa Griffin. She makes over 7 figures per year. She's built $1 million business online, largely due to her Pinterest traffic coming to her website and buying her courses. So if you check out this course here, it teaches you all about Pinterest. It helped me a lot, and that's why I contribute a lot of my success to her course, helping me shoot up my Pinterest traffic to my website. So this video we're done with now, so we're going to go ahead and move on to how to create pins and how to upload pins in our next video.